How's it going, everyone? My name is Lim, and today we're going to go over a bunch of things Nintendo needs to do, in my opinion, to make the NX a success. I've been a Nintendo fan ever since I was a little kid with the original Game Boy. What are you hoping for from the next Nintendo console? Let me know in the comments below. First off, we are 3 years into the current console cycle, and there are rumours of both Sony and Microsoft making new iterations of their consoles. Early reports of leaks about the NX indicate that it's going to have roughly the same power as the Xbox One. This isn't good enough. Xbox One is already underpowered in comparison to the PS4, and both consoles will soon be more powerful if leaks are to be believed. In order to be competitive and have parity with its competition, NX needs to be more powerful. This leads us into my next point. The NX needs third-party support from launch. Nintendo is known for having phenomenal first-party exclusives, and it's been enough to keep them afloat in the past. But the failure of the Wii U means that this console needs to succeed. The Wii U has had some truly amazing third-party exclusives with Xenoblade Chronicles X and Bayonetta 2, and this needs to continue in the future, with exclusive experiences being one of the major factors in the purchasing decision of a console. In the past, developers have said that Nintendo have been too hard to work with. The console is too hard to code for, and they put too many roadblocks in the way of releasing games. This needs to change. If they release an equally powerful console that is easy to code for, then there's no reason for FIFA 17 or the next Call of Duty game not to be on the system. For that to happen, Nintendo needs a solid online ecosystem. Whilst Nintendo have always been industry leaders when it comes to amazing polished gaming experiences, they've always been behind when it comes to online. The friend code system is just terrible, and getting into a party to play something like Splatoon is just a nightmare. If we are going to get these premier online experiences on the NX like Battlefield with 64 players, then we really need proper connectivity. I want to be able to boot a console up, start a party, invite my friends into it, and play games together. Get that right, and we're on track for a winner. Continuing along the online theme, the NX needs a fully stocked virtual console at launch. In my opinion, the virtual console is one of the main selling points for their consoles. The ability to go back and play some phenomenal games from the Nintendo library is great, and I'd like to see the NX launch with all of the current virtual console games already available. And that links nicely into cross-buy. If I've bought Link to the Past, I really don't want to buy it for the fourth time, Nintendo. I've already bought this game once. I want to link it to my Nintendo account so I can play it on the NX. Making us pay multiple times for a game really isn't consumer friendly. It just appears like money grabbing. Look at Sony. If you buy a copy of Hotline Miami 2, you can play that game on PS4, PS3 and your Vita, and your save carries over between versions. The NX needs this. Next is backwards compatibility. Wii U had backwards compatibility with the Wii, which in some ways didn't help with its perception of being a Wii add-on, but we'll get into that in a minute. The Wii U's handling of backwards compatibility was kind of terrible, really. A completely separate menu and horrendous load times made it less than desirable to play on some of the Wii's classic games on it. However, people want to play old games on their new console. Consoles are expensive, and launch lineups for consoles are often not great, so people need stuff to play when they have empty wallets. With Wii U's comparatively short life cycle and reports indicating that Nintendo are going to stop production soon, let me play Super Mario Maker on NX will soften the blow and give me access to an even larger library of games. Please don't take Sony's approach and try and charge me monthly to stream those games. Just let me stick Bayonetta 2 in the NX and play it. Thank you. As said earlier, Nintendo have been notorious for being behind the times and being a hard company to work with. This needs to change. The AAA space for games is hugely different to what it was when Nintendo was the king in the 90s. Between the occasional huge game release, the market is filled with smaller and often amazing indie experiences. Just take my top game of the year from last year, Undertale, as an example. I had a lot more fun with that than I did from Fallout 4 Star Wars Battlefront. But the point is that Nintendo needs to create a platform and an ecosystem which allows small development teams to create games and easily upload them onto the NX storefront. NX owners shouldn't be deprived of gaming masterpieces like Honey Pot. It's just not fair. Now, I appreciate that Nintendo have a high quality standard, and that's something that stands them apart from a platform like Steam, but their policies prevent a lot of great experiences from getting into gamers' hands. We don't want Unity asset flips, we want Undertale. Continuing with games we want to see, can we get a proper open world 3D Pokemon game, please? It's beyond me why this isn't a thing. That game will print money, lots of it. A launch day Pokemon game with the scope of something like Xenoblade Chronicles X, which allows you to go out into the world and catch a ginormous Charizard in a beautifully rendered 3D world, preferably in the Unreal Engine 4. Do that and you'll definitely possibly might get 50 billion day one sales, I promise. And while we're at it with Pokemon, we need connectivity between the NX and 3DS and whatever comes next. It's been somewhat confirmed that there will be some form of connectivity with possibly a controller with a screen that you can take away with you. So possibly like the Wii U gamepad, but it'll be able to hold game information natively rather than being required to be within a short distance of the console. This is an important feature that needs to be taken advantage of, as Nintendo's handhelds have been the most successful part of their business for a long time now. One of the major problems I and a lot of people had was that the Wii U had a terrible hard drive capacity. If you downloaded just a small handful of games, especially on the base model, you will have it filled almost instantly. One of the big things that made the PS4 great at launch was the ability to stick any 2.5-inch hard drive into it and it would work. This needs to be implemented into the NX2. Games are only getting bigger and we need more space. Did any of you watch the initial reveal of the Wii U? A huge percentage of the features that were promised to us at launch never made it into any of the games. A golf game where you put your gamepad on the floor and then pretended to do a golf swing over it? That never happened. The message of what the console was terrible. People didn't understand it and people just weren't excited for it. This is something that really needs to change for the NX. When the reveal comes, we need a clear message of what the console is and how it works. We need to know what it features, why we should buy it when we already have an Xbox One and a PS4 in our homes, and what will it do differently from the Wii U. Oh, and the gimmicks? Let's not have any of those, and just get the console power and the game library right, yeah? With the overall failure of the Wii U marketing, this is so crucial for people to get excited for the Nintendo consoles again. Do you know what would help people get more excited about Nintendo again? Treating YouTubers and Let's Players better. In the modern game and space, a huge amount of marketing is done through Twitch and YouTube. If someone sees their favourite streamer playing a Nintendo game and tells them that they love it, and they're having loads of fun playing it, there's a good chance that that person will be influenced in their decision to buy an NX. The whole debacle of copyright strikes and refusing to allow people to use Nintendo games under fair use is prehistoric and frankly ridiculous. There are hundreds of content creators out there who love Nintendo and are prepared to create content advertising their systems and games without monetary compensation from Nintendo themselves, just by uploading content featuring their products. Treating these people well and encouraging them to go ahead and make a video about that latest Mario game without threatening to shut down their channel is a step they need to take to get the gaming public back on their side, because deep down we all love Nintendo. They provided the staple of a huge percentage of our fondest gaming experiences as children, and as a community we want to see them succeed. So treat the developers better, treat the digital content creators better, and most importantly treat the gamers better by actually getting it right this time and listening to us. Oh, and for the love of God, don't call it the Wii Next.